back, baby.
We're back. This is it. It's happening. Problems are getting solved. Lives are getting saved. All this glibness. Glib is a good word, isn't it? Glib. We're going to remove it and we're going to push the sunlight through that glib. And the glib is going to break until before you know it, no more glib. Glib gone.
Glib gone. Who is it? First of all, who is it? Is it male? Is it a female? Tell me. I need to get a vibe for it.
Dear George and Luke. They put my name first, Luke.
Well,
I'm going to switch it around because I'm a gentleman. That doesn't mean I'm a gentleman, but it does mean I'm a gentleman. There is a difference. Anyway, who wants to be a gentleman? Some people. Sometimes we want to. Whatever,
to
you
be
get
a
the point.
wild man.
Dear Luke
Yes.
and George,
Oi.
I've been dating a guy for a few months.
Oh, a few months. Okay. Sounding serious.
He's not as intelligent as George and he's not as good looking as you, Luke.
Well.
And his penis is only half the size of yours. No, I'm joking. All right. What she says is, I've been dating a guy for a few months.
Right.
And on paper, he's everything I've ever wanted.
On paper, we know where this is going.
He's
Yeah.
kind. He's funny. He's attractive.
Okay.
And we have amazing chemistry.
Okay. What's
But
the
there's-
problem? What problem has she found?
There's one issue.
Go on.
He talks to his ex all the time.
Ah.
They claim... Oh, this is funny because she says they.
They
Instead of he
claim.
claims.
Right.
They claim they're just friends. And he assures me that there is nothing to worry about. But I can't shake the feeling that I'm the third wheel in my own relationship. Am I being paranoid or is this a red flag?
Huh. Well, I'm sure you've got a lot to say on this one, George, but I'll just start by prefacing the
Not
fact
really.
that for me, personally, whether you're male, whether you're female, as George has alluded to in previous videos, past partners would not really be a problem in years gone by. Okay, you wouldn't be able to even communicate with language, with verbal language in a past era. So the idea of that you could actually hear about past partners is bad enough. But then the idea that the past partner is
Still there.
still there, is in your face.
Is in
You're
the
being
pocket.
reminded about it. He's talking about her all the time. You might even have to meet her. You might even have to, God forbid, go to dinner as a three. That is not a healthy situation. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to be constantly comparing yourself to her. You're going to be constantly paranoid about whether there's something going on. And the fact that you've sent this question in to us, my darling, my sweet darling, tells me that, quite frankly, you deserve something better, in my opinion. And I don't think he's respecting you. And don't get me wrong, he might be completely platonic with her. The relationship might be in the past. And you know what? I've been in your situation, actually. I'm going to tell you right now, I was dating a woman and she was still friends with her ex. They'd known each other for a long, long time. They were in a relationship for a long time. And they would still hang out on occasion. It wasn't like it was a regular thing, but they were still in contact. And to be honest with you, I knew the relationship was over romantically. I could tell, I could feel the energy. I wasn't worried that they were having an affair. But I did feel like he still had feelings for her. And I did feel like he wished that something could happen, even though for her, it wasn't on. But for him, he wanted and he hoped that something might happen. And just knowing that made me feel uncomfortable. So the idea that they were still hanging
So
out
I
made
took
me...
a sawn-off shotgun,
Well, yeah. He has...
kicked in his door in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
you.
left his severed head on
And
the
it
bed.
was Maniac Cop 4.
So yeah, my opinion on this is it's not fair, it's not right. I don't think it's acceptable. Even if he's not interested in her, I think that there's still potentially something could happen there in the future. And even if it couldn't, just by her being...
She's interested in him.
Exactly. But even just by it happening, just by the fact that they're in touch on this level of intimacy, this level of friendship, is just going to make the chances of your relationship with him failing and falling apart, because it's adding extra pressure that you don't need. So my advice is to, quite frankly, sit down with him, have a conversation with him, tell him seriously, this isn't working for you in terms of their relationship, their connection with his ex, and that it needs to stop. It needs to calm the fuck down. And if he doesn't respect you and he doesn't listen to you, then I think you need to move on, love. And guess what? Luke's here. The big guy, George, is over here.
Yeah, send his ex to us. We'll get her away from him.
We'll distract her.
We'll
for you.
distract her so hard that there will
Hard
be,
being the operative word.
It will be very, very, very hard for her to not be distracted because we'll be distracting. A real good hard.
would you add to that, if anything?
I absolutely. It's very, very important point you pointed out, that to have somebody in your pocket is new. It's modern. When you broke up with somebody before, it was actually easier to break up with them, because even though it was difficult, it was the same kind of torment. They've analysed the brain, right, and they say that when you break up with somebody, it's the same. It's not similar. It's the same as getting off a heroin addiction.
Yeah.
Because it is addictive. Love is addictive. It's
ultimate.
It's the ultimate drug, ladies and gentlemen. So when you're taken away from somebody, you're going through extreme withdrawal. Now imagine if you're a heroin addict who's going through that withdrawal, and we're just going to put some heroin in your pocket whilst you're getting off it. Do you really think that a heroin addict is ever going to really get off the drug if they carry it around in their pocket all the time? Like, it's a really, really crazy thing that we've developed this technology which allows exes to be in touch all the time.
Exactly.
Now,
It's
I would
crazy.
say it is possible to like have nothing but a platonic friendship
It
with an
is.
ex, but I would say you really want to take years away. You want to be like, we haven't spoken for 5 years and then we ran into each other, and now we just have a kind of like a friendly communication once in a
Listen,
while.
I'd understand if they had a kid together or something. Obviously, that's different. They have to stay in communication. They have to stay in touch on behalf of the child. But I'm assuming you haven't mentioned any child. I'm assuming that they were in a relationship. Now they're not, and there's nothing connected.
In that case,
So-
you're right, but that's not that doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
So I would say everything Luke said is correct. You want to sit your boyfriend down, but you also want to give him an ultimatum, because it's going to become a problem, and you really want to say, listen, either it's me or her.
Yeah.
And I really say that. I mean, I know that's a little bit harsh, but the thing is you have to give him a reason to cut
pick
her
you.
off. Because
Just give me a
he could just be
reason,
like, yeah,
just a
you're
little
saying that,
bit
don't
of-
worry, whatever. You're being silly. It's not a serious thing. But you need to be like, but it is serious to me, because there's somebody who's sort of sandwiched between us, and it's not very fair. Other than that, I think you've pretty much nailed it. The phone was the sort of most important thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it isn't fair. I do have one, like, so on one hand, a woman will be interested in a guy when other women are interested in him. So there is an element of maybe on some level in the beginning,
Right.
it helped draw you to him, and maybe that kind of boy that he is, or guy that he is one of the reasons you liked him in the first place, which is one of the reasons the behavior's been allowed to permeate. But you need to be like, now we're together, and now I want us to move into the next stage.
Yeah.
And I give a simple analogy, which is, how is the ship supposed to get off the dock if it doesn't drop the anchor? You know, it has to. And whenever people enter a new relationship, what they're really doing is they're going into new terrain. You're going on a new adventure. But it's like, you can't really ever have a new adventure if you bring the past with you. You
Absolutely.
can't. So you have to be like, this is our story now. You've had your story with her. It's like you went to that land, you went and explored Paris, and you lived there for 5 years. Now we're going to go to Rome.
Yeah.
You can't bring Paris with you.
No.
And if you do, you're not really in Rome. If you bring everything you ever had and you bring it all with you, and all your friends
You're
come,
living in the past.
you brought all your French friends over to Rome, you don't get a
We
new
don't
story.
like that. We don't
And you
want
have to be like, listen, how are we going to move forward if you don't let go of the past? And you really just need to say, at
Enough's
the end of
enough.
the day, if you really, really can't stand it, then you want to give them an ultimatum and say, either you get rid of her off your phone, or I'm leaving. And if you don't do that, it's probably going to stay the same. And if
Absolutely.
you're okay with it and you get used to it, that's up to you. But people tend not to change unless you put your foot down about it.
Stick your neck out. Tell him what's what. Give him the ultimatum, like George said. If he doesn't want to take it, like the Bourne ultimatum,
Just invite her over,
give her a slap.
and no, just invite
kidding,
invite
don't-
her into the bed.
Don't slap anyone.
I was gonna give it unless she likes that kind of thing and you like it too, and maybe he likes it as well. Just
Don't
have a good
slap
old
anyone.
threesome and say, listen, why all this distance?
Oi.
Why does it have to be over the phone? Why don't the three of us get together? You clearly still have affection
Listen,
for you. She has affection.
Maybe
for
that's
you.
what he's
So-
thinking in the background.
Oh, I'm sure he's thinking about it. Yeah, why not? Of course he is. So just be like, listen, honey, either we're going to have a threesome, or you're just going to be a chump just texting this girl on the phone. Just bring her over, and like Luke said, give her a good old slap. But, on the rectum where
On
she
the,
enjoys it.
Yeah. Guys, that is another problem solved.
Sit him down. You've had enough of it. Cut her out. Bye, bye.
See you next time.